What's up, fellow YouTubers? It's your sexy goth bad boy, KINGCOBRAJFS, back at you with another video. Sipping on some Josh's red wine. Watch out. Hashtag not a sponsor. Oh. So, would I try Outlaw Dip despite the fact it's tobacco free? The answer is yes. It's still got nicotine in it. You know, kind of makes you wonder. Yeah. Now the reason why Outlaw had to take the tobacco out of his dip is because he was threatening to get sued by a bunch of major dip companies, and I'm like, ain't that about the biggest bunch of horse shit you ever did see, man? Like, goddamn. Now, Outlaw has literally spent the majority of his channel reviewing dips and different styles of chew and Copenhagen Skull, Kodiak, etc. And Copenhagen even went so far as to say, we don't want you advertising in our product in your video because you're getting paid by a bunch of people to advertise our product and you don't work for us officially. So I would have been like, aren't you a nitpicky son of a bitch? Look, here's the thing of it. Yeah, he might have made money off like the millions of views that he gets on his videos, what have you, thousands, you know. But like, here's the thing of it. He would take his YouTube money and then spend it on dip and other things that he needs or wants, you know. So it's not like Copenhagen was losing money. Yeah, he might have made some money advertising their product, but then he'd turn around and invest it back into the same product. So it's like, and you want to sit there and be like, oh, well, we don't want you advertising our product in your video because we didn't give you permission. It's like, wow, okay. And it had something to do with this this clause or this thing where they're just like the Freedom of Consumption Act or some shit like that. I don't fucking know what it's called. But the reason why companies have the right to sue you if they don't want you advertising their product is because, you know, what if you're advertising their product on your YouTube channel and you're doing so in a way that's just, you know, negative or makes the product look bad, you know what I'm saying? That's why that exists. I'm like, well, I get that, but, you know, at the same time, I'm kind of like, that's horse, dude. And I think the reason why they were suing is because, oh hey, Outlaw Dip's is selling a lot more cans than, you know, people are going to, because of all his YouTube subscribers he has, all his fans are going and buying these cans of dip and literally buying them out to the point where they have to restock. And that's making the big chewing companies jealous because they're like, hey, who's this young buck that's outselling us? Southern Sweet Tea, oh, why didn't we think of that? Mountain Dew flavored dip, oh, we definitely should have thought of that. Ramblin' root beer, oh, damn it. But then they realized, oh yeah, Copenhagen can't legally make fun flavors like that because they would get sued by the FDA. So they're like, yeah, you know what, if we're not allowed to do it, then this guy, yeah. But they couldn't just attack him on that, so they're like, you know what? They thought, hey, you know what? And quite frankly, can I just say something real quick? I'm so tired of the FDA's bullshit. I am so fucking tired of the FDA's bullshit. They don't care about the food we eat. They don't care about the drugs we're taking. They're more concerned about the tobacco we smoke. Like, you know how many times I've had to see this on the fucking news where they're like, another restriction on cigarettes and blah, blah, blah. Like, instead of trying to ban menthol cigarettes, how about you educate people on the dangers of smoking? Because it's a restriction of American freedom. Yes, cigarettes are bad for you, but so what? So is about 10,000 other things. Microwave popcorn, too much sunlight. Yeah. I mean, wine's supposed to be good for you, but if you drink too much of this shit, oh. Yeah, I've had Josh's red wine. It's delicious. Yep. Show that logo. Oh, yeah. I got it on sale because normally this stuff's kind of expensive. I'm like, hey, cool. He got a wine with the same, named after my first name, kind of. That's cool. Now, I know people are going to think, oh my God, did Cobra get his own wine? That's badass. No, I did not. It's just a coincidence that it's called Josh's Red Wine. It's a coincidence, but I get a kick out of it nonetheless because I'm like, hey. Fucking A, that's delicious. But yeah, YouTube, when I found out that Outlaw would have gotten sued because he, because he didn't, if he didn't, but he did. He had to make his product tobacco free, otherwise he would have gotten sued. I'm like, that's a bunch of horse shit, dude. These goddamn corporations are greedy as fuck, and it's just sad. These goddamn corporations are greedy as fuck, and it's just sad. Yeah. Now here's the best part of it though. Copenhagen told Outlaw he cannot give them free advertisement because the money he makes off his videos is money that should be Copenhagen's because he's advertising Copenhagen. And I'm like, the fuck? Okay, listen here, you retarded, dickless son of a bitches. Yes, he might have made money advertising and reviewing different strains and flavors of chewing tobacco. However, most of that money he made off of it went into things like paying his bills, buying dip from the same company. So it's not like they were losing money or anything, but they didn't see it like that. They're like, no. Instead of seeing it as a business opportunity to be like, hey, you know what? This guy could help us reach a younger generation of new dippers who are old enough to consume tobacco products in the good old US of A and around. This guy could help us reach a new audience of 21-year-olds. But no. But no. And that's another thing that fucked with Outlaw's business was you know, if he would have taken the nicotine out and replaced it with caffeine, he could have made it available to everyone under a certain age, but it wouldn't have that same kick to it. So, you know, he kept the nicotine in his chew, and yeah, freaking took the tobacco out and added some kind of substitute. I'm not sure what that is, but you see him pinch that shit, and it's all juicy and moist as fuck. And you're like, tobacco free my ass. That's pretty convincing then if it's tobacco free. Could have fooled me. But yeah, if I had some money to throw down on a couple cans, I'd buy a couple cans and give it an honest review. I still got the mud jug that Jesse Ryan sent. Yep. Which when I'm dipping, that comes in handy. Ooh. I wonder how many times I'm gonna have to redo this video. Hopefully this is the one, you know, that I can just be like, done. But something else I want to talk about, honestly, is I seen this female comedian who was being advertised in an ad on YouTube. She had the same last name as me, spelled exactly the same. Her last name was Saunders, and I'm like, I wonder if she's a distant cousin, spelled just like I spell mine. Yeah, so I'm like, what's she got to say? And this chick's going off about how she's sick and tired of men and their pickup lines and their catcalling and saying things like, what up, buttercup, or what's cooking good looking, or, you know, hey, how's it going, cupcake? And apparently she's like, I couldn't tell if she was joking or being serious, but she's like, you shouldn't call a woman cupcake because one, it's degrading, and two, what if she has diabetes? She might be offended by that. And I'm like, I'm like, it was a comedian, so I imagine she was doing it to be like overly satirical and funny, but I'm just like, eh. First of all, ladies, check your pussy privilege, because you ladies are allowed to flirt with men all the time. Women are allowed to flirt with the opposite sex without any consequence. But before I complain about that, you have to realize that men can have as much sex as they want and not get judged for it entirely like women do. If you got a man and a woman being safe with it, and they're just enjoying themselves and being adults about it, you know, it's kind of just how it works. Double standards affect both sides, kind of thing. I mean, I fucking hate it. It's like, okay, so women can check out men, but men cannot check out women. Men can have a bunch of sex and get called a stud or a player or a ladies' man, but if a woman has a bunch of sex, she gets called a slut, a whore, a slag, and all of the above. And it's like, oh, that's real fucking nice. And you know what? You know why women are grossed out by sex? It's because we make them feel grossed out. You're taking a natural adult desire that every adult craves to some extent, and making them feel guilty about it. It's like if you see someone eating cheesecake and you call them a fat ass for eating it, like, oh, look at that fat ass over there eating cheesecake. You're going to make them hate the way they look about themselves. You're going to make them feel self-conscious about what they're eating. You know, like if you see someone eating a slice of cheesecake, you wouldn't do that because that's just mean. Like, sounds like you don't have any cheesecake and that's why you're talking shit. Like, you want a glass of red wine and some cheesecake. You want to feel that bougie lifestyle for just 1 second. But you ain't living that bougie lifestyle, so you're like, nah. Keep in mind that cheesecake and wine doesn't have to be super expensive to be delicious. Or better yet, you can buy the ingredients and make it at home yourself. You buy yourself a nice bottle of red wine, or whatever kind of wine you're into. Then you bake a bomb-ass cheesecake, let it chill out in the fridge after you get done baking it. Then you take it out of the fridge and you cut off a slice, you put it on a plate, you pour yourself a glass of wine, and then you take your fork and just slice into that heaven, that homemade heaven. And then as you take a bite of that cheesecake, you take a sip of your wine, and you're just like, ah. Your body goes into Homer Simpson mode. You're just like, cheesecake. And every human needs that one moment, just a moment to appreciate the finer things. And, you know, if you're trying to lose weight, my best advice, you have to have one cheat day. That's going to keep you motivated throughout the entire month. Okay, so let's say you work out and you diet and you eat healthy for the whole month. So at the end of the month, you have one whole day to just binge out on calories and enjoy the foods you like. And then right back to it the first. But that's the problem with it. You gotta show discipline, you know. You allow yourself one cheat day at the end of the month, and you spend the whole rest of the month working out and eating a little bit better. I mean, my diet consists mainly of protein, red meats. You know, that's why I'm so muscular. That's seriously off topic. Yeah. No, but this comedian that I saw on YouTube, like I said, she was going off about how she's sick and tired of men using cat calls and saying things like, "Hey, Cupcake, how's it going?" I mean, I kind of get that, you know, like if it was your girlfriend, it'd be one thing, but at the same time, if they're not being super creepy about it, who cares? Take it as a compliment. Women complain about cat calls now, but when they're 50 or 60 and they start to fade, they'll appreciate the cat calls. Either from their husband or, you know. Excuse me, either from their husband or from total strangers, you know. You know, women in their 20s are just like, ugh, why are they catcalling? Fucking pigs. And then women in their 60s be like, I need to still feel attractive and pretty. I wish someone would give me a cat call. Funny how that changes, and you think I'm full of shit, but wait and see. Because life has this sick, fucked up way of fucking with people, you know? when men are younger, our sex drives are through the roofs. Yeah, we divide and conquer, But then when men get older, we lose our sex drive. And it's like, son of a bitch. When women are younger, they don't really crave it as much. But when they get older, it goes through the freaking roof. And it's like, what kind of sick shit is that, dude? Could you imagine? You're married to your wife for 75 plus years. And the first 40 years of your marriage was some of the best sex you've ever had. But then it got to the point where you couldn't get it up anymore. And she wanted more. You try taking Viagra, it doesn't work. And all you want to do is sit in front of the TV and watch the Weather Channel. Oh, dude. I'm like, no, here's the thing about YouTube, in all honesty. Like, when I heard this comedian going off about how she's sick of catcalls, I'm like, I can't tell if you're joking or if you're being serious. Because I've heard of these feminist comedy types, these feminist comics. So I'm kind of like, are you one of those or are you just making fun of those people? I can't tell. I'm like, check your pussy privilege, honey, because women can give men the most obnoxious catcalls all day, and we just take it because, what the fuck are we gonna say? Especially when the negative stereotype against men is, all you men want is sex. Right. First thing I think of when I hear that is, oh great, a gender-based assumption. Fucking lovely. But this Josh's red wine is freaking delicious, dude. Took a couple sips to kind of wake up a little bit, and I'm starting to feel it. Just a little bit. Just a wee bit. But I'm like, if women are allowed to catcall on men, then men should be allowed to catcall on women. But that's just it. That's just it. Women will make up all these bullshit excuses as to why they don't like men catcalling on them. Instead of just being honest and saying, hey, you know what? Sometimes men are too obnoxious with it. They just reject the whole idea as a whole. And I'm like, wow, okay, so society puts all this pressure on you to look good and to be pretty. And then when someone acknowledges your hard work that you put into yourself, you get offended by it. Because that makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it? Now, when I'm hanging out with some of my female friends who are all taken, some of the obnoxious shit that I've heard come out of their mouth when they see a man they find attractive walking down the street, it's like, good Lord. Women and men are so similar to one another, it's not even funny. I gotta share this story with you because it's too funny. Now, nothing against the CY bar, you know. I still like going there. Just kind of feel like, you know, when you go to the same bar for a long time, you know, sometimes it's fun to switch it up and go to other bars, you know. I wasn't trying to get nobody fired or in trouble when I made that video at Frosty's. Just kind of sharing my experience and how I felt about it, you know. But, yeah, I'm sitting there at Frosty's having a drink with Darth Lenny and his wife, which, you know, I like going out and having drinks with my friends. It's fun, you know, kind of thing. Yeah. But here's the thing of it. I'm sitting there having a drink with Darth Lenny and his wife, and there's two chicks sitting by the bar, standing by the bar, kissing and dancing inappropriately. And I haven't had a girlfriend in almost 3 years. It's lonely, and I'm doing the best I can to just push through it, you know. The thing of it is, you can't let it be you can't let it be a personal attack on your manhood. You really can't. But I feel like there's a lot more pressure for guys to date than there is for women. And that's the truth of it. Women have all this pressure to get married. Men have all this pressure to go out and date. Yeah. And there's a pressure to date amongst both genders, but that's just how I feel about it. Like somehow your manhood is tested if you're not slaying the puss, bro. And that mentality is just so not necessary. But anyway, one of these chicks had short, spiky black hair, and this other chick had long hair and glasses. The chick with the glasses was understanding about it. She didn't really care. But the chick with the short, spiky black hair got all offended, and, you know, I'm trying not to stare, but I'm like, dude, come on. I'm a guy who watches lesbian porn, so it's like, I'm trying not to stare, but then the chick with the short, spiky black hair walks over to my buddy Darth Lenny and says, "Could you please tell your friend to quit staring?" She was polite about it, so I says to her, "Okay, first of all, honey, I haven't had a girlfriend in 3 years. I'm trying not to stare, but you're making it difficult. Second of all, if the genders were reversed, you would be staring too. Third of all, you don't want people staring at you while you make out with your girlfriend. Then why are you doing it in a bar full of dudes who are drinking?" Like, I told her off in the most polite way possible, and she still got pissed off and offended and stomped off, and I'm like, well, I didn't say nothing. I mean, you want me to support your cause? I didn't say nothing. But trust and believe, if it would have been the other way around, people would have said something about it. So, you know, check your privilege. Like, lesbians can make out in public and no one says shit. No one says, what the, you know what I'm saying? Unless they're like super religious or, you know, I don't know. But I'm just kind of like, you know, that's horse YouTube. It really is. Yep. It's the weekend, so we're gonna have ourselves some weekend fun. Yep, yep. But I'm just saying, like, dude, come on. You're in a bar full of dudes drinking, and you start making out with some chick, and you expect them not to stare. My sorry autistic ass, I'm looking at them like, I'm looking at these two chicks like, can I join in? uh, Now, one girl would be enough for me, honestly. I was just being a smart ass. But yeah, dude, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you want to be treated just like everybody else, but then you also demand special treatment. You know? If I would have been at the bar, if I would have been at the CY bar making out with my goth girlfriend, she's giving me a lap dance, all this other shit, you know? They would have been like, Cobra, congrats on the new girlfriend, but you need to calm the PDA down. And that's just a hypothetical. I'm still single. But, that's my point exactly, YouTube. But if anyone would have told the gay couple, hey, you need to calm down on your PDA, they would have been called a homophobe. Like, we live in a society where if you're straight, you're persecuted. And if you bitch about it, you get called a bigot. And it's frustrating because, yes, gays and women have had to face a lot of discrimination. But instead of being like, hey, you know what, we got our rights, that's awesome, they turn around and go, nope, let's make it difficult for the straights now. It's their turn to get fucked with. And I'm like, really, two wrongs don't make a right, you know? And like, it gets to the point where you get called a homophobe because you don't want balls in your mouth. Really? Really? Where's the fucking alcohol at? And here's the thing of it, YouTube. If, in fact, you're trying to fight for more rights, then doing shit like that is going to hurt your cause. And I feel like the world would be a much better place if people just stopped with the bullshit. But that's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. Anyways, YouTube. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you later.